자, 이제 이게 마지막 챕터예요. 마지막 챕터. 반달거리 사건, 살인 사건을 해결하십시오. 반달거리에서 런던 경찰국에서 그의 소지품을 조사. 일단 반달거리 갑시다. 밤이네. 잠깐만요. 여기서 어떻게 조사해야 되지? 뭐야? 아, 여기가 가는 길이 아니구나. 응? 여긴가? 너무 어두운데? 갑자기 공포를 변했어. 왜 이래? 아, 누가 죽어있네요.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes. Is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Mara. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving.
드디어 마지막 챕터.
Who were the victims?
The two men here, both shot.
두 명이
The
총상을
stab
입었고
fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian.
불량배고
The other, Kenneth
보석상이고.
Butler, a jeweler by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
그렇군. 증언은
So,
어땠는지.
Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
그렇군. 뭐가 많네요.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
불꽃놀이.
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course.
그렇군.
Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
연립주택 창가.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
자, 시체를 조사합시다. 총에 머리 맞았네요.
The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
손.
This is an ordinary key. I wonder what
구속상
kind of door it
열쇠겠죠?
opens.
판? 끼어있는 물체? 이거 확인 어떻게 하지? 됐다.
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look. This shard of wood is quite new.
일단 이거 끝났고 지팡이 나무 조각 아닐까? 그렇군.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not
이
instant.
사람은 배에 맞았네요.
The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound.
손.
A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there.
그렇군.
Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
자, 시체 조사 끝났고 주변 뭐 조사할 게 있나? 한번 봅시다. 없죠. 일단 저 사람한테 뭐 좀 물어봐야 되나 봐.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Varro reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story? Could you tell us everything that you may have
인상착이
seen
안
or
봤다.
heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
자, 일단 인상착의 봅시다. 참전용사구나. 단추. 뭐지? 아까 전에 그게 지팡이 부러진 거일 수도 있다고 했잖아요. 왜 지팡이가 부러져 있지?
Mr. Turner, did you see
지팡이란다.
anyone else in
이
the street?
사람이 저기다
No, I saw no one but that
저기
man,
갖다가 부러뜨린
the
건가?
murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
그렇군.
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with the gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
그렇군. 자, 얘는 인상착의 볼 수 있나?
It would be my pleasure to
되네요.
assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
2발의 총성, 2명의 피해자, 터널 목격담, 창가 아니네. 오케이. 이게 왜 안 맞지? 꼬마야.
Mr.
위긴스구나. 알바생, 심부름꾼. 그 다음에 저기 꽃집. 자, 여기서
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlok Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him
젊은이가
talking of
분명히
a horrible murder.
살인자일 것 같은데.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Did you see anyone
다른 사람이
else leaving Half Moon
죽여서 죽인
Street
다음에 그
prior to or at the
젊은이한테
time of the crime?
총을 쥐어줬나?
No, sir. I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
자, 일단 다 조사했고, 자, 경찰국 갑시다. 목격자들의 진술, 2발의 총성. 이것도 아니네.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there
어서
any
오세요.
new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
자, 심문합시다. 새로운 게 생겼지. 절도혐의 없음. 2명의 피해자. 이것도 아니고. 자, 신문합시다.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
오케이, 일단 인상착의. 흉터가 걸리겠죠? 멍들었네? 뭐야, 뭐 안 나와? 사무실 직원? 얘 조폭 출신이네. 저 교도소 출신이네.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand though. I took it. And then I followed the third man.
그렇군.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested.
일단 이렇게 들어보면 얘는
You were willing
범인은
to
아닌 것
risk your
같은데.
life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
수감자.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split.
So you
아이고.
lost him.
아, 잘못 눌렀다. 에이.
And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
오케이. 됐죠. 오래된 친분. 레이튼의 진술? 연결된 절대음이 없음. 다 연결되는 게 하나도 없죠. 이게 아니지. 자, 런던 소지품을 조사하라고? 소지품 저기 있죠. 여기.
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
또 뭐가 있나? 손잡이. 뒷면?
It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
뭐 없는데? 이쪽에 있나? 잠금쇠. 두 발 쐈네요.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired.
그렇지.
There were 2 shots. A
좀
cheap
시계.
watch, bought with his own money, no doubt.
탄피?
2 out of the 6 shells.
아까 그 탄피 빼놓은
So
거구나.
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
하나 생겼지. 레이튼이 소지했던 권총 2발의 총성. 그 다음에 나머지는 뭐 없는데. 이게 연결이 되네. 그리고 연결이 되는구나. 같은 게 계속 다 연결이 되는구나. 오케이, 봅시다. 케니스 버틀러와 브라이언 베르코티는 누군가가 저지른 이중살해 피해자다. 그렇지, 누군가 저질렀죠. 목격자의 증언 및 살해 흉기를 종합해보면 레이든 체프먼이 유력한 용의자다. 아닌 것 같은데? 증언, 살해 흉기만 보면, 그치? 그 두 개만 보면 무조건 용의자죠. 동시격발, 탄환은 총성이 2차례 들렸다고 진술했지만 실제로는 3발의 탄환이 발사되었다. 첫 번째 탄환이 발사된 직후 2장의 권총에서 동시에 탄환이 발사되어 그렇게 들렸던 것이다. 탄환은 2차례 총성이 서로 다르게 들렸다고 진술했는데 이는 사격 지점이 달랐을 경우에 발생할 때 할 수 있는 상황이다. 이거 뭐지? 동시격발이라. 사격 지점이겠지. 근데 두 종의 권총에서 동시에 발사되면 소리가 더 커질 테니까, 그쵸? 상상 속의 인물. 레이든 체프만이 진술했던 정체불명의 남성은 자신의 죄를 덮으려고 창조한 가상의 인물에 불과하다. 뭐 그럴 수도 있고, 진짜 그럴 수도 있죠. 반달거리 살인 사건은 레이튼 체프만의 개인적인 원한을 빌미로 벌어진 소동이었다. 선택권이 없네? 그럼 이건 무조건 레이든 체프만이잖아. 이중살해. 터너는 경찰이 도착할 때까지 연립주택의 창가에 있었다고 진술했다. 모순된 증언. 터너의 연립주택을, 그래, 아까 전에 지팡이 사용하는 사람이라고 지금 셜록이 조사를 했는데 지팡이가 없었고 그냥 벽에 기대 있었죠. 지팡이가 부러져서 그런 걸 수도 있어. 자, 아까 저 사람한테 갑시다.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
The murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that...